Buongiorno classe! Come state? Sto molto bene, grazie. Today we're going to talk about grammatica, specifically subject or personal pronouns. Now, subject or personal pronouns exist in Italiano, obviously, and also in Inglese. So, what is a subject or personal pronoun? They're words that replace a noun, person, place, or thing, or idea. So in English, some of these subject or personal pronouns would be I, you, he, she, we, y'all, they, for example. They're used if the name of a person or a group of people have been previously mentioned in a paragraph or in conversation. So, for example, instead of saying Mr. Stefano is short, Mr. Stefano is fun, Mr. Stefano is brunette, Mr. Stefano is American, language would become really, really redundant and repetitive if I kept saying Miss Stefano. So I would say she, okay? Same idea with he, right? In English, our subject or personal pronouns are divided into a couple different categories. Of course, there's singular and plural. I'll explain. But there's also first, second, and third person. Now, this might sound familiar from maybe an ELA class where you've been asked to write in the first or third person. Right? So in English, we say I in the first person. You, he or she. These are our singular pronouns. So the plural ones are ones when we're talking about multiple people. So think about this in English. If I was to say Mr. Stefano and I multiple times on repeat, we would actually say we. You all. Now, this is a funny one because I feel like we don't really use this a lot in the Northeast area, New England. I feel like it's typically, hey, you guys. Hey, guys. Girls, guys, whatever. But this is when you're talking to a group of people. Y'all. This is why we hear the term used, for example, down south or in the Midwest, because it's, hey, y'all, you all, talking to multiple people. Last one is when we're talking about multiple people. So instead of saying Mr. Stefano and her sister, Mr. Stefano and her sister, Mr. Stefano and her sister, we would say they are sisters. Now, in Italiano, I have this chart that's set up almost the same way. The column for singular, the column for plural. You'll notice these words, these pronouns, personal pronouns, are in the chart in nero, in black. So the way that we say I in Italiano is io. You, tu. He, lui. She, lei. And you formal, lei formale, you formal, okay? Now, I, obviously, io, when you're talking about yourself, you, talking to one person, he, she. I'll explain more in a minute. The way we say we, noi, you all, voi, and they, loro. There's also you all formal, which is kind of weird because this does not exist in Inglese, which is loro f formale. You'll notice here the lei and loro formale, the two formal ones, are with the capital L, capital L. Now, if you're talking, you wouldn't be like lei formale, capital L. You would just say lei and loro. This here is capitalized for the written form. All right, so io is used to talk about yourself. I am Mr. Stefano, io sono Signora De Stefano. Tu is used to talk to one person informally. Informally being the idea of talking to someone you're really close with. Sorella, fratello, brother, sister, amico, amica, friend, right? Cugini, cousins, maybe. Lui is when you're talking about him, one boy. Lei is when you're talking about one girl. Now here again, the formal component, we don't have this in English. So you formal is talking to one really, really, really important person, like the presidente, the president, for example. Now, in English, we would say, for example, good morning, sir. How are you? You, right? In Italiano, there is no such thing as you. Well, I mean, there is, but you would actually use the you formal, which is lei. Okay? I know, it's weird. We'll practice. Noi is when you're talking about yourself and more than one person. Again, Mr. Stefano and I, Mr. Stefano and I. Y'all is talking to more than one person. So right now, per esempio, for example, if I am talking to an audience, like a performer on stage, right? They're talking to more than one person, it would be the voi form. When we are in school, I use the voi form talking to la classe, to the whole class. Loro is talking about a group of people, and then loro formale, you all formal, is talking to more than one really, really important person. Again, this one we don't have in English, but this would be, for example, if you're talking to the presidente and the vice presidente. Now we're talking to two really important people. So let's do a little bit of pratica. How do we say she in Italiano? Che pronomo è? Lei. You'll notice this is a lowercase l. Elle with a capital is lei formale. We. Che pronomo è? Noi. He. Che pronomo è? Lui. I. Think about the activity we've done in la classe di italiano. I am. Che pronomo è? Io. You. You'll notice there's nothing formal here, so it's just regular informal you. Che pronomo è? Tu. They. Loro. And you all. Y'all. Che pronomo è? Voi. Next pratica section. What pronoun would you use if you were talking about yourself? Che pronomo è? Io. If you're talking to your bestie, best friend, super informal, right? You can say, hey, yo, what's up? It would be tu. If you're talking about Davide, talking about a boy, he is smart. Che pronomo è? No, I made a mistake. It's not lei. It should be Louis. Louis. I messed these up. Elena. Che pronomo è? What pronoun would you use if you're talking about yourself? Che pronomo è? Io. Che pronomo usi? What pronoun would you use if you're talking to your best friend? Che pronomo è? Informal. You. Tu. Che pronomo? What pronoun would you use if you're talking about a boy named Davide? Talking about Davide. Che pronomo è? Lui. What if you're talking about Elena, who identifies as female? Che pronomo è? Lei. If you're talking to a group of people, che pronomo è? What pronoun would it be? To a group of people. You all plural. This is not right. It should be voi and yourself andante. Che pronomo è? Noi. We. Again, as a reminder, io, tu, lui, lei, lei formale, noi, voi, loro, loro formale.